Good afternoon and welcome back to Osijek in Croatia for day 2 of the senior finals at the European Championships over 10 metres. You can see our social media handles just there at the bottom of your screen. ESC Shooting for Instagram and European Shooting Confederation for Facebook. You may also be joining us on YouTube as well. Whatever live platform you're on, then welcome. Thank you very much for coming along this afternoon. We're back with the rifle events. There is our schedule for today. 2:30 for the air rifle women, all local time here in Croatia. Then 4:15 later today for the air rifle men over 10 metres. And then our final event of the day, 6 p.m. It's a later day and it's the air pistol mixed team. So 2 rifle events, then we switch to pistol, and that encapsulates day 2 of the European Championships across 10 metres here in Osijek, Croatia. So rifles resting with the safety flags inserted. That's those colourful pieces of plastic that you see. Those are the rules. So the distance is 10 metres, 24 shots, unless there are additional shots for shoot-offs. Maximum weight of the rifle in this one, 5.5 kilos. And the bullseye down the other end, 0.5 of a millimetre. Unfortunately for the athletes, it never gets any larger. This is an example of what one of the rifles looks like. It's just your typical 10-metre air rifle. Highly customisable. You can change the colours. You can change all sorts just to make it to your personal preference. That's the beauty of this sport and this particular event. So good afternoon. My name is Rory McAllister. And alongside me, we've got Ruth Mandaba from Great Britain, and we'll be your commentators for this particular final. Thank you very much for coming along. Remember to give us the thumbs up on Facebook and on YouTube, and enjoy the final. So QR codes on the screen for you. And you can use your camera on your smartphone or on your tablet just to get those up. And there should be a yellow link that then appears on your smartphone or tablet, and then you can just follow through to the Instagram handles from there. So the coach is now just coming out into the finals hall. Now, Ruth, you've been in finals like this. So how do you prepare for a 10-metre final like this?
Do you know what? It's difficult. There's lots of excitement going on. Definitely a bit of nerves as well. The main thing to do, the athletes do in this situation, is to just make sure that they keep their head screwed on. They focus on the task at hand, and hopefully the results speak for themselves.
Well, that's the idea, and sometimes easier said than done.
Definitely.
So we'll see how the athletes get on today. So Kristina Pletakapic of Croatia just giving our introductions and being announced in reverse order. So first of all, on firing point H, we've got Julia Piotrowska of Poland. So next out on firing point G is Alexandra Havran, who took a silver medal here yesterday in the mixed team. A fierce battle against the Swiss team, who eventually took gold. Here's Oceane Moulin of France, who's achieved so much already at 22 years old, on firing point F. And is Oceane just destined for another medal today? Well, the other two athletes who are already out on the field of play will also obviously have their say about that. So next to arrive on firing point E is Ilia Laura Georgeta of Romania, 31 years old now. We were just reminding each other of her gold medal at the World Cup in Guadalajara back in 2018. I was announcer that day, and happy to say that Ilia remembered me before I remembered her, actually at the time. But we had a bit of a laugh about that. And Audrey Gognat of Switzerland, a gold medalist yesterday in the mixed team, 22 years old. Just shows how young these finals are becoming at this sort of level. So next athlete on firing point C. This is Damla Koşa of Turkey, 24 years old. So next to arrive on firing point D, this is Jeanette Hegdustad, now 26 years old. Was 0.9 off the qualification world record today. Shooting 6.36 in qualification. And I did say to Jeanette, I said, you obviously are aware of the fact you're 0.9 off the qualification world record. And she just looked and smiled and said, yes, it's not good enough. It's just like, and finally, on firing point A, this is Esther Danish of Hungary, 23 years old. We only have one athlete over the age of 30 in this final, and that's Ilia Laura Georgeta of Romania on firing point E. Ruth, it's becoming a young sport. At 29 years old, you're about to become a mother of twins. You're 6 months pregnant. Again, how do you see shooting going over the next 5 years? You're obviously going to be taking a break after your pregnancy.
Yes, but only a short break. I still plan on hoping to come back for the World Champs in November. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Obviously, it's circumstantial, but that's the aim, so hopefully so.
Great, well, we look forward to seeing you later on in November and finding out the identity and names of your twins.
Yeah.
Says Petar Plavčić of Croatia, our Chief Range Officer, asking the athletes to take their positions.
So at this point, the athletes are kind of just getting into position. They'll be making sure that they're all aligned correctly, making sure that the sights, if they need to make any adjustments. So that's what they'll be doing now.
So as we get settled in for this final, let's just have a look back at qualification earlier on today. So just give you a glimpse of the qualification hall and qualification earlier. That's how it finished up. So there's Jeanette Hegdustad, 6.36, a fair distance in front of the others, and she was 0.9 off the qualification world record held by Anna Janssen of Germany. So therefore, by virtue, the European qualifying record as well. So that's how they line up from firing point A right down to H. Hungary, Norway, Turkey, Switzerland, Romania, France, Serbia and Poland completing the lineup. If you're on Facebook, then do leave your comments of support. Get involved. Let us know where you are, what you're doing, and why you love the world of shooting sport. Likewise, you can do the same on YouTube. If you're watching us live, then you can take part in the live chat, and there's plenty of people doing so already, including an audience out in the States, not only in Chicago, but also in Nevada. So Mr. Alexander Ratner, the president, just taking his seat next to Mr. Vladimir Lisin. And also alongside them was Jaho Alenik, who is the sports director for the European Shooting Confederation. And also some of our vice presidents are here as well, including Pekka Kusisto of Finland. So let's take a closer look at the athletes then. This is Esther Danesh of Hungary, 23 years old. You can see how many medals she's got there on your screen. There's that gold medal from the World Championships in 2021 in the team women event. And she also has 3 medals at European Championship level. And there's Edith Kishne Orshed, who is her coach. A very familiar face around the world of shooting. And here's Jeanette Heg-Justad, now 26 years old. There's that gold medal in Tallinn. That was actually one of 3. Jeanette managed to take the individual, the team, and the mixed team 2 years ago in Tallinn. She's also got 3 World Championship golds. They're all at 300 metres. And she's also a specialist across 50 metres and the 3 positions as well. So a very talented rifle shooter indeed. And there's Amalie Evanson, who's stepping in as coach for today. So Damla Kusha of Turkey is next, 24 years old. Has competed at World Championships, World Cups, European Championships, so she knows how to do it. But big pressure today on her in this final. And there's Osman Biligier, the coach. Audrey Gogna, already with a gold medal yesterday from the mixed team. It was a fantastic mixed team gold medal match. If you haven't seen it, then I urge you to watch it back. She also is a bronze medalist from the Paris Olympic Games in the 10 metres and has European Championship junior medals and a silver across 10 metres. Enrico Friedemann is back in the seat as the coach. Only this time, no timeouts in this 10 metres. So Ilia Laura Georgeta of Romania, gold medalist at the European Championships in Wroclaw, now 5 years ago. And I said, a memorable day for me as announcer in Guadalajara when she took that gold in the World Cup under the Mexican sun. And there's Daniele Kohanchuk. So moving on to firing point F, Oceane Muller of France. There's her 5th place in Paris in front of her home crowd. So unlucky that day. It was a packed house at Châteauroux. Big pressure though on her that day. Despite that though, 3 golds at European Championship, 2 golds even at European Championship level. As we take a look at Marshall Anset, who's her coach. She also has a gold medal at World Championships as a junior. That was in Lima 2021. Well, what a week it's been for Alexandra Havran. Now, I say that because of performances in the junior competitions last week and that silver medal that she took in the mixed team yesterday against Switzerland. She's 20 years old and the youngest in this final. You can see her World Championship silver medal there. That was in the mixed team junior back in 2022. And she also has 3 European Championship silvers and 2 bronze medals. There's Goran Stojadinovic, who's the coach once again for Alexandra. And finally completing the lineup, Julia Piotrowska of Poland, 23 years old. Bronze medalist 3 times at an ISSF World Cup and a Junior World Cup gold medalist twice. There's Adam Dobosh, who is the team leader and stepping in as coach for today. Adam is a rifle shooter in his own right and one of the nicest guys you're ever going to meet. So the start command, there we go. 2 series of 5 shots and then we move to the elimination stages, and the first elimination comes up after shot 12. 10.9 is the highest individual score. I think we'll see one in this final. The distance is 10 metres and the bullseye down the other end, 0.5 of a millimetre. So a 10.8 already from Kusha. And Ilya also with a high score, 10.7. So Ruth, is it tricky in some ways to, if you've had a good qualification, to then try and bring that through to the final? Because in the old days you would bring the qualification score into the finals. That hasn't happened for a while now. But how do you cope with that?
I think it depends. You know, sometimes that momentum, oh, we've just got a 10.9 there from our Swiss athlete. We did say we'd get one. I do think it depends. Sometimes it's easy enough if you're kind of riding that wave to bring that momentum into the final. But the feelings that you're experiencing are completely different to what you experience in qualification. So really the best athletes are the ones who manage that well and are able to continue on their performance that got them there and, you know, ultimately medal at the end.
And you say about the different feeling purely because psychologically you just know you're in a final.
Yeah, and you're so much more excited. You feel, you know, a bit more pressure. And yeah, I think it's, you know, you're under those time pressures as well. So there's a lot of different factors that go into it, which you don't have in a qualification match. So yeah, it's managing that well and just knowing how to work through those different feelings.
So Piotrowska with a 10.8 follows that with a 9.8. It shows you how things can change. But these graphical maps do help us spot the athletes' grouping. So just 3 athletes now to complete this first series of 5. And really, when you're shooting world class, if you can get over 53, that's an incredible achievement, and you'd expect to be leading. Some of these scores already going to be over 52. Havran just short of that 53 marker. Jeanette Justad with that first series of 50. I mean, I personally would get nowhere near 50, but Jeanette, after the qualification that she's had, certainly won't be happy with that. So this is how it's unfolded so far. There's that 0.4 gap at the top. Havran of Serbia leads, the silver medalist from yesterday in the mixed team, against the gold medalist in the mixed team, Audrey Gognat of Switzerland. She's tied in second place alongside Ilya of Romania. Meanwhile, some of those other differences fairly close right the way across the board. All 8 athletes, though, over that 50-point marker.
Very, very close as well, as you can see, all under 1 point between them all. So, as we all know, finals can change. We'll see what happens.
For the next competition series,
Here's Anna Lechikova, who is a Presidium member of the European Shooting Confederation. If you are joining us on YouTube and you're getting involved in the live chat, thanks very much for doing so. And hello to Michael in Las Vegas. And Shahina, who's in the Windy City, Chicago. Wonderful. And Cheval's here, Arme, Mugli. We've got Millet as well, Charlie, Basia. And plenty of emojis and flags of support as well. a second 10.9 in this final. Piotrowska of Poland on firing point H. I mean, even at the beginning of the commentary when I said, I think we'll get one, I kind of meant we get more.
Yeah, hopefully get a few more.
So if you have just joined us, welcome along. We're into the second series of 5 shots. My name is Rory McAllister, and alongside me is Ruth Mwandamba of Great Britain. And we're delighted to have Ruth here today. She's 6 months pregnant, so it's great that you've taken the time to come along to be with us. 10.8. Havran is shooting so well.
So as you can see, our French athlete here taking the time between each shot. It's really important in these moments to make sure that you control your breathing, because everything's heightened at this moment. So it's all about focusing on your deep breaths, making sure that your heart rate is nice and controlled as well.
I find it hard enough keeping my heart rate down playing the Xbox, let alone doing it in real life, Ruth. So 2 athletes now completed their first 10 shots, Danish and Piotrowska. Those triggers are so delicate.
They really are.
It's not until you do it you realise it hardly takes any pressure at all. You've got to be so careful.
Really have. We'll do a lot of trigger work during our training sessions because they are so sensitive, and it's such a big part of shooting that people don't realise as well. So yeah, even just the pressure that you put when you're pulling it, these things are so important.
This is Jeanette Gistad of Norway. It's no surprise that she's one of the longest. She tends to take her time. She hit a first series of 50.9, second series of 52.9. So despite a high second series from the athlete who qualified with the highest score, that's how it looked after 5 shots, with the scoreboard adjusted after 10. Havlan still at the top. Gonya still in second, and this time there's not a tie for second place. There's a 0.1 gap between third and second, and then some narrow differences. Plenty of 0.3s. And Osijek Muller of France finds herself 0.8 behind Danish of Hungary, despite a score of 102.2. The standard is so high.
It's really high in a final, and that's when it comes through. That's when it comes through. So yeah, you've got to be on your A game, really.
So there's Mr. Vladimir Lisin, who we mentioned earlier, sat alongside the president, Mr. Alexander Ratner. We had a very exciting announcement as well from Mr. Ratner before the junior competition began last week, and that's that shooting is part of the European Youth Olympic Festival, which will be taking place in 2027. So just great to see shooting getting more opportunities, particularly for younger athletes as well, because with that exposure, it's what gives you more confidence to go on into these bigger tournaments, such as the European Championships. So individual shots now, 50 seconds is on the clock. Another cracking shot from Piotrowska, 10.7. Oh, another 10.9. That's 3 of those so far. And Osijek Muller now 1.3 behind. Now in rifle shooting, even a gap like that can turn around at this point. And yesterday, in the pistol final, for example, Zorana Larunovic was as low as 6th and managed to finish 2nd in the silver medal position. And we saw it last week as well in the junior competitions, where if you just keep going, you never know. What do you do, Ruth, when you know you're in elimination, it's looking likely?
I think it's really important, what you've just said, just keep on going. It can change so quickly. There've been plenty of times where I've been near the bottom, but if you just focus on your process, you never know how anyone else is shooting, so just focus on doing what you do well, and you can work your way up.
Well, as it turns out, they've both got a 10.6, so no change there in this instance. So Oceane Muller of France, 22 years old, will be leaving this final. Unless, of course, Kosher was to completely miss or something disastrous was going to happen. So Oceane Muller, 8th in the European Championship final across 10 metres. But I think she has a very bright future ahead of her, having been at so many finals at this level already. I mean, I've been working in shooting professionally now, Ruth, for 8 years, and I've just seen the ages get lower and lower and lower, particularly in women's rifle shooting.
Every year it's the case.
But yay, those 29-year-olds.
We're keeping it going, we are. We do love seeing the young talent go, it's always exciting.
When is the big 3-0 coming up?
August,
okay.
Yeah. So not long. Strong 10.8 there from our Hungarian athlete. Oh, and another one.
Now, it's just a joy to watch when it's like this. There's that 9.4 from Kosher, but otherwise, Danish with that 10.8. And another one coming in as well from Ilya of Romania. So there's Mr. Alexander Ratner, the president, clearly discussing what's going on here. And perhaps saying the same things as us. There was a nod of the head at the end there from Mr. Ratner. He's probably thinking the same as us. The standard is just going up and up and up and up.
It's unreal.
There's Andrea Arsovic of Serbia, who's been on the world scene for so long.
He's been in many finals.
I must get my selfie with Andrea. It's a bit of a running joke we've got every single tournament. So next elimination now coming up. And believe it or not, it's Jeanette Justad of Norway, who qualified so well. 6.36 earlier, just 0.9 off Annie Janssen's qualifying world and European record. And for the bronze medalist yesterday from the mixed team, Jeanette, much as a surprise to me, I don't know about you, Ruth, takes a seat in 7th place to watch the rest of this final.
Yeah, definitely expected her to be in the top 3, but at the same time, as we've mentioned, these finals are so close. If you have even just one bad shot, you can go out sooner than you expected. But still a great performance from her.
I mean, I do wonder what Jeanette herself, what order she'd put her disciplines in. Because me personally, I maybe would give an argument that she's stronger in the 50 metres.
She's strong in both. It's so close.
Yeah.
But yeah, she is very strong at 50 metres as well.
But those are the margins in shooting. Even picking the disciplines,
Yeah.
it's so close. So Ilya of Romania continues to lead after those last couple of elimination shots. Well, I just see David Hoekstraat there from one of the organisers of Intershoot, a competition that takes place in the Netherlands every end of January, every February. I've known David for a long time. He's here with the Belgian team.
For the next competition shot, load. Start.
So next elimination coming up. So lowest shot there right the way across the board, a 9.8, and it is Damla Koşe who now will be leaving this final representing Turkey. Final score of 164.8. She was only 0.6 off fifth place. But inserts her safety rifle. A nice wave to the camera as well.
She should be happy with that. Sixth place at Europeans, not to be looked down at.
No, not at all. You're just getting to the final.
Big achievement.
So a tie at the top. Gonya and Ilya both on 167.6. 0.5 behind is Havran of Serbia in third place, Piotrowska of Poland in fourth, and Danish of Hungary in fifth.
Some really strong shooting from Havran this final.
So lowest shot, a 10.1. So Ilya of Romania continues to lead. There's a difference now of 0.5, a tie for second. We've had so many ties throughout this final. It's so close. Next elimination will be coming up over the next two shots. Someone else has to go. Piotrowska's been shooting pretty decently. I know that's at least more than two 10.7s that she's scored in this final. But now fifth place has been decided. And I think I said a second ago over the next two shots, it did mean one. So Esther Danish of Hungary leaves this final in fifth. Hair colour matching the colour of her suit as well. We did say you could personalise things in shooting, so that's how far you can go.
You can. We've seen colourful rifles, colourful hair, and we all love to match.
.8 from Havran. Slam. Another 10.6. That's from Gonya. And Ilya also with a 10.6. Piotrowska this time with a shot in the nines. So pressure now starting to mount, particularly on the Polish athlete. 1.5 behind in fourth place as we move on to the medal stages. And between second and first, there's a 0.5 gap. And that 0.4 gap between third and second. Pressure, Ruth.
Pressure. The medals will be decided after this next shot.
Start.
So we've had some movement in the scoreboard, but no movement for 4th place. And Julia Piotrowska is inserting her safety flag into her rifle. And will leave this final in 4th, just off the podium. The cruelest place to finish, not only in shooting, but in sport. And for a while there, certainly her earlier shots, she had a 10.9 as well, was looking strong, but just too many in the 9s, just couldn't keep that consistency in the 10s, Ruth.
That's it, and she did have some really strong deep 10s, but it just goes to show you it can change so quickly in this sport. But definitely a great performance from Julia.
For the next competition shot, low.
Indeed, yes, you just at this level can't afford too many 9s. So Gonia now moves to 3rd, only 0.1 behind though, but Ilya of Romania is having a blinding final, just doing so well. Blinding being a very London British term for excellent. So lowest shot, 10.3. And that's where you need to be, at least at the medal stages of a European Championship final. So Gonia at the moment has a gold medal from yesterday in the mixed team, currently sitting in the bronze medal position, 0.3 behind. As Ruth and I have been saying, it can change. Will there be a change here? Meanwhile, Ilya of Romania is 1.3 in front of Havran of Serbia. 50 seconds to decide the bronze medal. Unless we go to a shoot-off, it's likely, it could happen, as the gap is only 0.3.
Could be close here.
Oh, flat 10 from Havran. Gonia needs a 10.4 or more.
Wow.
Oh, 10.9! Wow. Well, what a way to do it. If you're going to upgrade from a bronze to a silver, then you might as well put in the highest achievable shots. And a 10.4 was what was required, but no, Gonia says, have this instead, a 10.9. Meanwhile, massive congratulations to Alexandra Havran, a silver medalist yesterday, also a big week in the junior competitions, and the youngest competitor in this final at 20 years old has come in to these top 8, and Serbia have another medal, and it's the 2nd medal in as many days for Alexandra Havran, and it's a bronze. Ilya's actually looking pretty relaxed.
Yeah, very relaxed. I was shooting next to her in the qualifications, so I got to see how relaxed she can be. Wow, another one.
Well, I don't know about you at home, but Ruth and I are losing count of these 10.9s. And you can see the front row of VIPs as well, just saying this is, the body language says it all. This is unreal. And Daniela Kohanchuk, the coach,
looking extremely happy with her athlete there.
The gap at the top is 1.6. Gonia has already upgraded from bronze to silver. And Ilya just adjusts that butt plate in her shoulder. You just know as a rifle shooter when you're in your gold zone.
You do. You train so much that you know exactly where the perfect spot is. So it's just about getting that right each time.
10.3. And Romania have done it because Gonia, no matter what happens, can't keep up. And look at the reaction from Daniela Kohanchuk. She was out here last week plenty of times in the junior competitions and now has come out with Ilya. And Lara Georgeta Ilya is a gold medalist and the European champion. Romania have their first medal of these European Championships, and she'll be standing atop of the podium in a few moments' time. Meanwhile, for Audrey Gonia, punching the air, a gold medal yesterday, a silver medal today. And for Alexandra Havran of Serbia, a silver yesterday, and now it's a bronze. Ruth, your thoughts on that final?
Exciting, close at times, as they always are, but I think it's just great to see the standard of shooting these days. It just keeps on getting higher and higher, and as you can see, you need to be shooting deep 10s to be in a final like this, and all of those athletes performed really well today.
So here's the official announcements. Alexandra Havran, a bronze medalist for Serbia. Audrey Gonia, second medal in as many days. Silver for Switzerland. And Laura Georgieta Ilia, 31 years old, the eldest member in this final. I know, astonishing that she's the oldest at 31. It's a gold medal for Romania, and it's the title of European champion. And that's how it finished, from gold right down to 8th place. I mean, Ruth, you mentioned the standard. Is that something that scares you?
I think we've just got to learn to move with it. You know, the standard's improving, so we all have to improve with it. It just means more training, more mental training, more training on the range. But, you know, it's a challenge for all of us. And I think to be at this level, you've just got to accept it and be willing to work on it.
Indeed. Right, let's have a look back at the highlights of that final that Ruth's just summarised for us. Well, we're almost out of breath here, actually, after not only that final, but just the way the day's been so far, because we had a breathtaking qualification score from Jeanette Hedjustad. She was just 0.9 off the qualification world record, but actually in the end finished this final and left in 7th. But it all goes to Laura Georgieta Ilia of Romania, the first gold medalist of today. And Romania will be delighted with that. Now, the rest of our schedule is there for you. Local time, 4:15, the air rifle men, and then 6 p.m. tonight for the air pistol mixed team. So from myself, Rory McAllister, from everyone on the live chat as well on YouTube, thanks very much for joining in. And from Ruth Wandaba, who was next to me, our commentator from Great Britain, we wish you well. We'll see you later on today. First of all, though, just a word from HEP, one of our major sponsors.
Gledao svitanje dana, tihim noćima od zvjezdano sna. U meni su tonima ona me ljubi, zelenim poljima i beskrajem dna. Sam je gledao kroz kapljice kiše, ona je svjetlo što me vodi kroz noć. Polovnim valovima ona me njiše, ona je ljubav koja ne može proći.
HEP. Više od struje.